no excuse for what's going on behind me. You guys, this is my dad. Thanks. With your badge on, by the way.
Yeah, I love that. It's actually fitting for this whole series.
I know.
So
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was just so excited for this live stream. He's like, oh, 3 minutes? Okay, I'll be right back. And he wanted to crash it. So
had to bring it.
Everyone, that was my dad. He was on the Magical Mommy podcast to talk about things to do with your kids. So if you want to check out that episode, he did not show up as a squirrel like he did today.
Although next time, I think he has to.
I think he thought that would go a different way because initially my daughter walked in with a cat mask and then he was waiting and she was waiting right there and then she walked away.
Just like, never mind.
A grown man with a squirrel mask. So that went a completely different way than I think he planned.
I love it.
Serves him right for invading this live stream.
Oh, hey, Steffers.
Hey, how's it going? Steffers, I've thought of you a few times in the past few days. I'm like, she's doing such a good job on her Instagram posts. Mm-hmm. Like you did like an introduction, you did like a news one. You've done a few. I've seen all of them, I think. You're just like rocking it. I'm really happy for you.
A little sunshine in the morning with Steffers.
I know.
I love it. Sunshine with Steffers. It's almost a tongue twister, but I like it.
A little sweet sunshine with Steffers.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Okay, so I had a question for you before we went live, but then we went live. So
okay, sure.
When we were promoting this, did we actually say what we were going to talk about? I mean, obviously Grey's Anatomy, but like, did we talk about like that this was the pilot? Like, did we prep people to watch the pilot?
I think I said the kickoff to a brand new series where we discuss the entire Grey's Anatomy series, something like that. I don't know that I. Yeah,
because Jen did the amazing promo and like advertising for this.
Is that what it is?
I edited Monday's podcast. So I was very hands off with this. And then I realized, like, oh, should we have told people to watch the pilot? I don't know. Do we warn them? Is that a spoiler? I don't know.
Well, and I was talking to our Disney community friend at Pixie Dust PhD here on YouTube and on Twitter and on Instagram, as we call her, Dr. Jacqueline. And she was saying, will you have something that like posts, hey, if you want to join Jen and Angela, watch episodes 2 through 5 of Grey's Anatomy for the, I was like, we don't, but we're going to now. I love that. So we welcome all ideas.
If anyone besides Steffer is here, our number one fan, thank you so much for joining, Steffers. Please say hi and say where you're joining from.
Hi, I'm Jen. I'm a first time, long time.
Yes, I'm Angela. I am a Grey's Anatomy addict.
Right.
Living in Minnesota. Why? I don't know. My husband really wants to move to Colorado, like super bad. I know. I'm not super.
Is that a possibility?
No.
Oh.
Not for me. I'm very codependent when it comes to my mom and dad. Like I'm one of those people that really like my parents.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they're pretty awesome. So, I mean, that makes sense.
When your dad wears a squirrel mask for fun.
I mean, doesn't that say it all?
Why would you not want to keep him around is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
So why are we doing this?
It's an excellent question. Well, you're obsessed.
I am.
And anytime you would say, I think for a little bit, I kind of let it go. I'm like, I'm not going to tell her that I never watched Grey's Anatomy. I'm just going to go with it. Like, yeah, no, totally. Obviously, you're watching Grey's again. Of course. Okay.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. And then at some point, I dropped it. Like, I've actually never watched Grey's Anatomy. And you were like, what?
Wait, what?
Sorry?
I'm actually, shocked as I was, I'm actually really excited for this because all of like the cliffhangers, all of the really crazy things that happen, I've never gotten to see someone's reaction because I've just seen this happen so many times. So like all of the jaw-dropping moments, like, okay, I've seen that 45 times. Like I still cry on certain episodes, but still.
Right.
So I am very excited to see it from a newbie's point of view.
Yeah. Totally.
So this will be fun. This will be
I'm
good.
also super excited for it to be happening on your YouTube page, which I just think is an amazing place to be. And so face. And so I'm not done. And so many people love what is on your YouTube. And I just think this is a great way to like kick off and get the ball rolling for like future content that is going to be amazing, because all of your content is always amazing. So if you love it here on Angela's YouTube page, please let her know that you want to see more.
Yeah, thanks for that, Jen. Appreciate it. Also, I guess on that note, if you have any ideas, because apparently I am activating my YouTube account again. Frank and Jen all but had an intervention with me this week.
Yeah.
Where they're like, you need to do this again. I'm like,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
At some point, maybe I will think about it.
Yeah.
Jeff is here, popping in to say hi.
Jeffers and Stuffers representing.
I know. We need to get them fan t-shirts, like with Grey's Anatomy on it.
Oh, I love that.
We need to get working on like it's a work in progress. We'll figure it out.
Jeffers, aren't you at work? Is this legal? I don't know how things go on up there in Canada. I don't know what happens.
I can get House on Prime Video. Oh, can we watch that instead? Well, then it would be called the House area. So
right. Maybe next time, like Welcome House, but not.
Okay, no, Jeffers, if you have Hulu or Netflix, Grey's Anatomy is on both.
He said it's not in Canada. Wah wah. We need to figure this out.
Then you need to get like a VPN and then hook into the American Netflix.
There you go. Yeah. You got one of those Fire Sticks or like whatever the kids use.
VPN or like whatever. Yeah.
Can you watch it online somewhere? It's got to be like on demand, ABC on demand.
I mean, I don't know. I appreciate you not wanting me to get discouraged, but really, I mean, you should just watch it for your own benefit because it's really addicting.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we talked about why we were starting this or how it got started on a podcast, but I was so excited for this that I barely remember now. I just remember the idea stuck during like a TV show podcast episode.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Our guilty pleasures, maybe?
Yeah, when we were talking about like Christmas.
Yeah.
Shows.
Right. And here we are. It's kind of like when we were writing the Haunted Mansion and we were like, should we do a mommy podcast? And then we did it. And then we were like, oh my God, you've never seen Grey's? We should do a podcast where we watch Grey's and review it. And here we are. Also, you are wearing a t-shirt that I could have worn tonight and we could have been twinning.
I know.
Why didn't you tell me?
This is a very comfortable shirt, by the way.
It's so comfortable.
It's so soft.
I love it.
Amazon, by the way, everyone, incredibly comfortable. Yes.
My daughter, by the way, calls that the talking flower shirt. And I didn't get it, but she sees mouths in the flowers.
Oh.
And I was like, what?
That's very Alice in Wonderland of her.
Right? That's pretty crazy.
I'm having bubbly water.
Oh.
And I just have to burp all the time.
Okay.
I'm really sorry, everyone.
That's fine. You be you. This is your home. We're on your turf here.
Just accept me.
Yeah.
Yes. So what's great is like we've had these ideas and instead of just being like, oh, they could never happen, we have made them come to fruition.
Boom.
Yes.
Just like that.
Good for us.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the pilot today. And in between, I'm going to share some Grey's Anatomy behind the scene facts with you. I don't know why
how happy you are.
I'm a disc jockey right now. I am so excited. Like, if I know a lot about Disney and makeup and I don't know, something else, I know just as much about Grey's Anatomy.
Right.
So that knowledge is really going to take me places in life.
I'm so happy for you that we're here.
Thank you so much. Okay. So let's get started.
Okay.
Episode 1. It's the pilot. It is a hard day's night. Fun fact. All of the episodes, except for one in 16 seasons, are all the titles of songs.
Oh, that is a fun fact.
I am not lying. Okay.
I believe you 1,000%. And I love that about it. You know what? That just gave it a point for me. Not that I had taken any points away, but that gave it a point for me.
The show was also created by Shonda Rhimes. I feel like a lot of people know that, but I
Yeah.
feel like she also like helped write The Princess Diary and like co-produced or something to do with the Whitney Houston Cinderella.
Oh, that's
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah, so she has written so many shows. She's doing something with
Mm.
Netflix right now.
Yeah.
Originally, the show wasn't called Grey's Anatomy. It was going to be called like something something, then Complications, and they're like, "And that's boring." So then they settled on Grey's Anatomy, and that's actually the name of a real medical textbook, but with an AY instead of an EY.
Right.
Yeah.
Twist.
I know. I have a lot to share on this, clearly.
I'm loving the fun facts. I love a good fun fact.
I do too.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just looking at the comments, making sure that we're all
Jeffers and
caught up.
Steffers, just, chatting it up.
I love it. Okay, so Jen, you
Yes.
would not answer this question earlier.
No, I did
You
not.
made me wait.
Yeah, I don't even know why you're trying to start a conversation about the show via text. Hello, that's why we're here.
I don't do surprises because I'm too impatient. But
I'm
you're
very
making me
meta.
impatient.
Is that a proper use of the word meta?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. Stuffers will tell us.
Yeah.
Very rarely use meta correctly.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you think of the first episode? Were you like, this is something I could get into, or were you like, I'm only doing this because Angela wants me to?
I mean, I would do it regardless because you wanted me to. But no, I watched it along with, as many of you know him as, Mr. Snidillo. He watched it with me. And the whole time he was just like, how have you never watched this show? This is so your show. Like this is right up your alley. I don't understand how you never got into this. And I think I probably just never got it in the first season. So then after that, I was like, I don't know.
It's too deep. Yeah.
And then it's like, how many years old now? Was that 2005? Did it start?
I don't do math, but like we're 16 seasons in. Right. 16 or 17. Yeah. So
somewhere around there. Yeah. I was living in Orlando at the time. But so I just never got into it. Anyway, but yes, it is very up my alley. So no, this will not be a like, I have to watch it because Angela wants me to.
I'm so glad to hear that.
I have also been privy to other medical shows. I have watched House. Currently, I think my current medical show would be The Good Doctor. I have done some others along the way. So it's not out of character for me whatsoever. Plus there's like a rom-com, not as much on the com, but a romantic thing in like talk shows and other things of them promoting Grey's Anatomy. So like I'm familiar with them throughout the years. So then to go back to the beginning, I'm like, oh my God, you guys are babies.
I know.
So little.
They're like very like Ellen Pompeo is just like this little peanut butter. She's so small. And and she was actually in, like, did you see Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo?
Yes.
She was the one that he beds. He gives her the necklace.
Can we say that here? It's so scandalous.
Yeah, she's actually in that.
Well, and I had just binged last week Firefly Lane on Netflix with Katherine Heigl. So
bye, Jeffers.
Oh, bye, Jeffers. Enjoy work.
How was that? I hear that's really good.
It was really good. And I like got into it where then I had to just keep going with it. So then to see Katherine Heigl in her young 40s, I mean, obviously she looks awesome and everything, but then to like go back to this was like, oh my God.
I know.
It's crazy.
They're so young. And they just look so different because like clothing was different, hairstyles are different. Granted, like they're wearing scrubs in the first episode, but still like clothing has changed. It was the early 2000s. I was in high school and I actually didn't start watching until the second season. The first season was just really short because they were just kind of trying it on. And but my mom has watched it from the very beginning. So she's the one who got me into it. She was supposed to jump in on the live chat.
I was gonna say
she's with my kids now. I wasn't supposed to bring my kids, but she's with them. So she got me started on it. And but yeah, I didn't start watching until the second season. Oh my gosh, the first two seasons are so good.
So I don't know that I have a favorite character yet because I'm feeling them all out. Like I can't I'm a
friend of
New
mine.
Yorker. I can't jump into a new friend already. So like I really gotta like keep reading them and
Mhm.
see the vibes I'm getting and like really feel them out more.
Right.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's kind of hash out the episode.
Yeah.
So the main character, who the show is named after, is Meredith Grey,
Yes.
and she wakes up in her house on the floor from a one-night stand with a man who we know is Patrick Dempsey,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, "Dude, you have to leave. I'm gonna be late for my first day of work." And he's like, okay, bye. And then she goes to her first day of work, which it turns out she's a surgical intern at a hospital. And so the show is about these surgical interns and just like the ins and outs of daily life,
Yeah.
for all the docs. Um, and so her first case is a girl who's having a seizure. And so she's kind of taking care of her. But the five main characters for the interns are Izzy Stevens, who's like this bubbly blonde, George O'Malley, who's just like the lovable, sweet kid, Alex Karev, who's not very nice, kind of a D-bag, Christina Yang, who's a badass and brilliant, and then Meredith Grey, who is the main character. Okay. So I give you 5 people to choose from.
Yeah.
So who are we vibing with right now?
I don't know. I'm feeling for Meredith just because she's coming in where everyone has these assumptions about her, which is only going to have her work harder to prove she can do it, and it's like on her own terms and she's capable, and it's not just because her mom was a doctor, so like she's going to need to be stepping up more. And I feel for her with all the judgments, but I also feel for the others going, who's this chick? Really? It's who you know. Your mom's a doctor. Obviously, you're here. Great. Now, do we even stand a chance? I do like Christina. And I feel like I have fuzzy memories. Like I probably have come across clips of the show throughout the year. So I feel like I know there's a lot with Izzy and George along the way. So I'm interested to see more from them because you don't see a ton from them in the first episode. George, a little bit more. And I felt horrible for him because he just like had to do the worst thing ever on his first day on the job pretty much. And so that made me really sad. Yeah, and I mean, the show overall, I respect doctors and I respect everyone in the medical profession. Your family, you got a big family of medical professionals over there. I know I couldn't do it for a variety of reasons. Like, I just couldn't, and I am thankful that there are people that can.
So, little background for you. Alex Karev was originally not even in the pilot. He was added to the script after they already shot it. So they had to like digitally like put him in.
Interesting.
After the fact.
Because they loved him so much. Why did they jump through those hoops?
Well, they just added him to the script afterwards. I don't know if his character wasn't there or what, but like they just didn't have him as a character period until after they filmed the pilot. And then they're like, you know what? Something's missing. And then they added him and his character.
I get that because you need a little more, you need the bad guys.
You need like the clashing.
Right.
You do.
Yeah.
And the other thing is when they were casting all these characters, they kind of did like they didn't type cast. They didn't write up like what the person should look like, and they didn't have any race in mind. They just wanted to go for the best person for the job, except for Bailey, Miranda Bailey. She's the little short doctor, but she's just like full of gumption and sass.
Yeah.
They actually did have a person in mind. Like they wanted someone blonde and like with like
so
bubbly curls and bouncy curls. But then she ended up reading, and they were like, "Nope, that's her."
Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool.
That's cool. I like that. So many fun facts.
I know. I have more. Just thought I'd fit them in every once in a while. Okay. So I'm like, where should we go in this summary? So, oh my gosh, I'm just like trying to figure out what do you want to talk about now? I've seen this episode so many times that I could talk about any part of it.
I mean, I also thought I liked the approach the pilot took too, where it's like the pilot is starting, it's new show for everyone, and it's like a fresh start for them. So this is like the start of their residency. So it's like the first 48 hours, how crazy it is, what's going on. And I liked that they kind of kept that timeline where it's like, this is it. They're just awake now for the next 2 days and look at the amount of things that happen in it. I liked that approach to like kicking off a show.
That was a good way to do it. And
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, something cool, like seeing that being students, like they don't really know what they're doing. So you get to see like how they start. And then assuming that the show continued, which it did, you kind of see how they progress and where things end.
Right.
Now, what did you think when you saw McDreamy?
Mm-hmm.
Do we know that yet? I don't know.
I do, but yeah.
Okay, when you saw
I don't think you
Dr.
know that.
Shepard
Yeah.
and you found out that that was her boss.
So I think because I knew he was McDreamy going into it, that wasn't a surprise for me. So I guess I did have a like, I'm sure I will remember things here and there just from, because I am big on pop culture. So
Yeah,
I have
osmosis.
definitely read things along the way or seen clips of things or whatever. So I know McDreamy and McSteamy and like all of that. So it wasn't that big of a shock, but I like their little banter and their little staircase dynamic, and her kind of being like, no, and him being like, whatevs. Maybe. We'll see what happens. But I think she probably shouldn't have told anyone about that, because that's not going to help you. Like, your mom is already a doctor. People already think you got handed things, and then he asked you to be on the team for the surgery. It's all not helping. Just don't tell anyone that part.
I mean, I get that she had to tell Christina, because otherwise it's like, well, why are you being so weird about it? Like, why don't you want to do surgery with him?
Right.
Why are you weird?
That's true.
But then he's like, oh, I can only pick one of you. Meredith, you want to scrub in? And then she doesn't say anything.
Yeah,
and then she keeps not saying anything. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
That was your opening to be like, oh, I think she should do it.
And then later she tries to like correct, and she's like, no, Christina should do the surgery. It's like, maybe we could have said that like 5 minutes ago.
Like, I'm not doing it. How about that?
Yeah.
But maybe that she felt like, if I say I'm not doing it, then do I get a chance to do it again? It's
Right.
a very weird place to be in, I think, when you're like given the opportunity. If you turn it down, do you get the opportunity again?
And all you want is to be in an OR. Steffers, how are we feeling right now?
Yeah. Steffers, do you have specific points of the episode you'd like to discuss or ask about or whatever? And I think there's someone else watching. I want to know who you are. There's two eyeballs on this. Show yourself.
Oh, no. A little bit Disney always sneaks in.
Always. There always has to be Disney. So do you think, I mean, you came in on the second season for you, right?
I did, yeah.
And then when did you watch the first season?
So this was back when we didn't stream things, but if you wanted to watch something over and over, you had to buy the box set of the season. Yes. So I think my brother ended up buying it, and then he like came home for the summer or something, and then I watched it.
Yeah.
And then I think like some Black Friday, I ended up just buying a few of the seasons.
Right.
So then that's when I did, because otherwise, like, when are you going to ever watch them? So it wasn't too long afterwards, because I think we all ended up really liking the show. And then I stayed pretty consistent. There are a few times, and you will experience this, where you get mad at the show and you want to stop watching. So I stopped watching for a little bit because I got very angry at decisions that the writers made.
Yeah.
But then I always come back. I feel like this is a Grey's fans' moral dilemma, is we always come back.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Even if we're reading like the cliff notes on Vulture the night the episode finishes, we're always there in the wings.
I get that. And then, so since you started with the second and then kind of went backwards, do you remember how you felt seeing the pilot for the first time?
Yes, I do. I remember being like, what? Because like a lot of things happen in the second season. And if it's out of context, you're like, oh, well, I feel a lot differently about Meredith or situations.
Yeah.
And then you watch the first season, you're like, oh, okay. well, that makes more sense now.
Mhm.
And when we get to those episodes, I will explain. But yeah, it just made a lot more sense after I watched it.
Yeah.
And then you feel differently. So I have to watch these things in order.
Yeah. I've done that with other shows. Like I've caught it along the way. I did it with like How I Met Your Mother, probably back in those
Oh,
same years. I think the
yeah.
first time I saw it was like on a cruise ship that they were just playing like the same episodes. So I had already like come to conclusions about certain things, and then I caught it at home and I was like, "Oh, what? Oh, I'm so behind on this show. I need
I
to."
know.
And now I've seen all those episodes.
Did we how did we learn from shows back then? If we didn't like like how did we
What was the
get
world back
how did
then?
we get the full story?
I feel like, I mean, it's probably between people just talking about it, magazines,
Mm-hmm.
and then probably also just talk shows. Because then
Yeah,
people are just guests on talk shows, and then you learn about different, like, oh, I'll have to tune into that on Wednesday night at 8. That's my only
true.
chance to do it. And then
Yeah,
then way back in the day, you just set up your VCR and you press like play and record at the same time and hope for the
yeah,
best.
that's true. Then
So
we had
there's that
TiVo.
too. I never had TiVo.
We had like Charter and their
Okay.
version of that so we could
Okay.
record shows. So I think that's how we did it for a
Yeah,
while.
I had a DVR, but I never had TiVo specifically. And I always
No.
felt like, should I? Is that cooler
You
to have
weren't really
TiVo?
missing out. No,
Okay.
no.
That's fair.
Okay, so at the end, when you
Yeah.
found out that Meredith's mom,
Yeah.
winner of 2 Harper Averys.
Oh, wow.
I know. What is a Harper Avery? Well, we're not really sure right now. Has Alzheimer's. How'd you feel?
So I liked that because I was wondering, with her basically telling the story throughout the episode and you're
Yeah.
hearing her voice and there's a voiceover and all that, it's like, okay, so is it just one of those shows where you hear somebody telling the story, it doesn't fully make sense, but you just go with it? But I kind of like that really in the end, it was her telling her mom all the stories of what happened in the last 48 hours. I liked that. I'm a little sad that like knowing what a major what do I want to say? I don't know the word I'm looking for. I'm blanking. But just how big of a doctor her mom was and the impact she made on everyone. And now that it seems that she's forgetting a lot of it, like that's going to be a sad journey to watch because I'm sure that's only going to progress and we're going to see that along the way.
It's such a bummer.
Yeah.
It is. It does get, yeah. I can't share anything. I'm like, okay, I'm changing the subject. More facts. Okay.
Yes, more facts.
So, Shonda Rhimes originally wanted to set Grey's Anatomy in her hometown of Chicago. She's like, ER's in Chicago. I feel like I want to give it some distance. Yeah. And so that's why she did a town like Seattle, where the show was set. Yeah. Another thing is that when they are doing surgery, not only do they prep the actors by giving them a ton of information about the surgery. In fact, I think Isaiah Washington, who's Burke, he actually would like learn the surgery that he was going to do. But they used like cow organs and fake blood and like chicken fat and jello. Like they used like real like animal organs.
No.
And apparently it smelled really, really bad. And especially when they needed to use like the cauterizing, like the cauterizer. I don't know what it's called.
I had that up my nose, so I'm familiar.
Yeah, it would like when they'd have to cauterize things, it would smell like burning flesh. Or whatever.
Yeah.
So gross, but like also like
that's so meta. Oh, we still don't know if that's correct.
Do we use it right? Is it really meta? Is it? I don't know.
That's kind of crazy. That makes sense about ER, and I'm trying to think, and I don't know that we have this fact check available right now, so maybe we'll have to research this one. Was this like the next big medical show after ER? Was this like the first one? I mean, there's just been so many since then, but like
was House around that time?
Yeah, that's
I feel like House was like the same time as that.
Yeah, let me IMDb House.
I'll share another fact while you look.
Yeah, do that.
So Sandra Oh, who plays Christina Yang, she had originally auditioned for the part of Bailey, but she was in a phase of her life where she was starting to ask for what she wanted. So she asked if she could audition for Christina Yang. So she read the part and then she got it. And in my opinion, she's like completely perfect for it.
Mm-hmm.
And now she stars in her own show, Killing
Mm-hmm.
Eve.
Mm-hmm.
She's
Mm-hmm.
come so far. We're so proud. She was also in The Princess Diaries.
I
She's
love the tie-ins.
Principal Gupta.
I don't know. I feel like I need to go back and watch that movie.
It's so good.
It's been a really long time since I've seen it. And I loved it when I saw it. I don't know how I felt about the sequels, but I did love the first one, but I haven't seen it in such a long time. House was 2004. Grey's Anatomy was 2005. Interesting. I didn't realize that came first.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Another good show. Love it.
Yeah. I love House.
So good.
Severus, you're trying to resist spoilers, but you can still say things.
I mean,
Severus, are you going to watch each episode with us? Like when we decide what the next bulk of them will be, will you go back and watch along with us? Thanks. We'll need a comment. Thank you.
I think, I feel like this is going to be a live stream that maybe progresses as the months go on. I feel like we're going to tread water for a little bit and then just build momentum.
Yeah, because, and it's hard because we are talking about one episode now. And like we said, if we did one episode each week, we would be here for about 16 years. So I think we're probably going to bulk them up and there'll be more to talk about along the way because there's just so much going on.
Okay.
Each episode.
With that in mind.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Let me look at our list of episodes.
Okay.
And then let's just here and now decide which ones that we want to do for next week.
All right. Let's do it.
Okay. You talk about something else you liked in the episode while I do that.
Oh, okay. Let me think. I liked that it felt true to, I have no knowledge, but it felt true to what would be going on in a hospital in these 48 hours. You saw them just like completely vegging out and needing the break mentally and physically and all of that and falling asleep at times or just eating or being all over the place. So I felt like it was pretty true to that. And I like that they all were kind of separated. They're not all working on the same cases together, which is nice. Because I noticed that in like The Good Doctor now, like some of right now there are interns and a lot of them, they're like grouped together. Like there's 3 over here, and that's pretty much it, where they all had their own stuff going on. So that was kind of cool to see too. And they dealt with like pretty bad stuff in those 48. They didn't softball them for those first 48 hours. They like threw them into like pretty bad situations and I'm sure a lot of them do freeze and freak out in that first time for everything.
And you get to learn their different styles too.
Yeah.
Which is really neat. So as far as the first season, there are 8 more episodes. Okay. Steffers are our only viewer. Would it be too much to expect people to watch 4 episodes a week?
Right.
A lot. 42 minutes an episode.
Because I was kind of thinking like 2 to 5, 6 to 8.
Yeah.
We could, or do you do 2 to 4, 5 to 8? I don't know.
Like if we did like 2 to 5.
There's a drag race apparently happening behind me. I don't know what's happening.
Then 6 to 9, then we could get season 1 out of the way.
Right. In the next 2 weeks.
Right.
So help us make this decision. And if you're watching on a replay, because I know a lot of people will be catching up on the Angela Dahlgren YouTube page,
for sure.
Leave a comment and let us know what you think. 4 episodes she can do in one day. Perfect.
So true. Honestly, like when you're doing the dishes, just turn it on and I promise you'll get through.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. And because there was a part of me that wanted to keep going anyway when I watched it. And then I was like, no, I need to just focus on this one for now. Yeah. So I am good because I am all about binging at this point. So it's probably, I'm happy with that.
That's 1 a night, not every night. Okay. So
I gotta take some notes along the way.
Yeah. Okay. So I think maybe we'll cut it here since we only have 1 episode to talk about.
Right.
also spoiler, we are recording a podcast after this.
We are.
Special guest you'll find out soon. And
Stephanie,
then
you'll love it.
for next week,
Mhm.
we will do episodes 2 to 5.
Okay.
So,
specifically, episode 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're not
not
stopping.
stop at 5.
Right.
We're going all the way
Through
through 5. Yes.
Okay.
And we're going to meet right back here
Yes.
Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
Okay, so fun. All right.
I love it.
Oh, wait, I'll share one more fact.
Oh, yeah. We need an outgoing fact.
Yeah, we need an outgoing. Okay, so one of the reasons the show was even created is because Shonda Rhimes, I think, and her sister, but I know Shonda for sure, they were obsessed with surgical shows on the Discovery Channel. And her idea for Grey's Anatomy came when I think maybe a doctor on the show, or maybe a doctor she was talking to, I don't remember that part, was talking about how hard it is to shave her legs in a hospital shower. And it just kind of made her think like, oh, like doctors have real lives. And like I want a show about how hard it is for a doctor to shave their legs and fit in that kind of stuff. And then her idea for Grey's Anatomy was born.
I might sneeze.
Thank you for muting.
Real time. This is a true live.
I did not mute a single burp tonight, so thank you for being politer than I am.
That's interesting. Also, props to the doctors that are shaving their legs in hospital showers, because that means you're shaving your legs way more than I do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking, when did I do that last? Hang on.
Because like if I'm doing like a 48-hour shift as a doctor, I don't know that I'd be caring.
Feeling my legs, it's been a while, so shout out to those doctors.
Yeah, for sure. I love it.
Holding things down in the hygiene area.
Way to go, guys. Way to go.
You're the real MVPs.
Love it. Well, thanks, Steffers and Jeffers, for being in this chat. Thanks to those that are watching on the replay. Comment, like, tell your friends, tell your Grey's Anatomy friends, do all the things.
If you want to follow us, I am Angela Dahlgren on Twitter. Jen is Janillo, but we also have a podcast. It's called the Magical Mommy Monday Podcast, where we talk about all things mom life with a little bit of Disney sprinkled in. So you can follow us on Magic Mom Monday on Twitter and Magical Mommy Monday on Instagram.
And Facebook.
Yes, I just posted.
And this last episode, we talked to Twinkle, which was super fun. And should we hint of what the next episode's going to be?
Yes.
Okay. So next Monday, we're going to have like a little Disney panel with some fellow
roundtable.
Yeah, fellow Disney podcasters. So that'll be happening on Monday the 8th. Do I have my date right?
Yes.
It feels right. Yes.
That sounds right in my heart. Okay.
That's where we'll be if you want to see us in other places or hear us or talk to us, whatever. Yeah.
Drop a line. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. And we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
And